LGS with 60% Solitude. Well, LGS's, you know, paper metagames are, you know, hard to like really like predict because they're so localized usually. But it's also Renegade map. What? Renegade map? Okay, but it's also true that paper metagames historically have always been like a little behind Magic Online metagames. Like that basically is always the case, where that just like paper metagames are just so much slower. They get basic island and then they play desert to kill my Ragavan. That's sick. It's awesome. The modern leagues have been pretty good. Pretty good. They're just all over the place. Yeah, where's Yama Killer? Yama Killer always complains I get paired against Scred Red and Desert. Remand on top. Can we attack in the desert? I want to see it happen. Maybe not this turn. So my opponent has Remand, so I'm going to play Channeler and then Iteration. And I'm totally fine if they remand, if they don't remand or if they remand here, but I'll get the extra Surveil. Thank you, Dragon Rage's Channeler, for just being pretty broken. 3 lands in the graveyard. It's Glacial Chasm. It's just Glacial Chasm. It's so good here. I can attack and get the treasure though. Like it only kills the Ragavan end of turn. How goes Neutron? I think very good. I think you probably have to play it in mono red, but I think that card's good in modern. Please screenshot the board. I don't know, maybe. Okay, well, our deck is a lot more resilient to Chalice of the Void than other blue-red decks because we have main deck Ending. I guess I'll graveyard that. I really need to find Delirium. I guess I can get Delirium off the Heat. Keep that on top for the Iteration. Hand, bottom, Exile. Or need to find an instant or creature to get Delirium. Kind of funny that instant is the choke point here. There we go. And then I guess I am going to attack with the Ragavan now so that I get to hold up the Charm. Is Remand good in this meta? No, I would say Remand is still pretty bad. But I like Remand. We exiled Power Plant? Oh, sorry. I thought Power Plant was the type they needed. They need a tower, actually. Alright, shuffle that because of course, there's the Chalice in play. What if Remand was white? It would be more playable for sure. Just like being a more unique effect. I've said this in the past. I haven't said it in a while, I guess, but I am generally in favor of giving white access to conditional counterspells on the color pie. Like, I think Mana Tithe type effects should be more common than they are. That's generally something I think would be good for the game. Just like, yeah, make white like the secondary counterspell color. But I'm not like super duper passionate about it. Pass for Murktides and Archons. Yes, and it's also like a card you bring in against Hammer Time. It's like fine against Hammer Time, kill Sanctifier, and just like stops any equipped hammer creature at instant speed. Yeah, white should have taxing counterspells. Yeah, I don't think white should have hard counter magic, but cards like counter unless you pay 1, counter unless you'd let me draw 3 cards, that kind of stuff, I think would be good for the format, the metagame. Blah, 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 blah. Should probably play some Wear Tears. Wear Tear might just be better than Ending. Being instant speed here. I think Unholy Heat is a good card for Modern. Yeah, we've been talking about this a lot lately, where it's like, for most of Modern's history, proactive decks have been so much better than reactive decks because the threats are just better than the answers. And in the last like 2 years, the answers I feel like have caught up to the threats in Modern, and it feels like there's like an answer to everything, but you have to choose your answers for different metagames, right? And you can't beat everything, and I think that Heat is like, especially after the War of the Spark era that we experienced. Like, I really wish Unholy Heat was around back then, when just like there was a million Teferis and Karn the Great Creators and Okos just like being very dominant in the format. Caboose, thank you for the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. I just don't like that red has the both best answers and the best threats. I agree that red is too strong. I agree with that, but I don't think that like Unholy Heat is like the problem. But I agree that like red was already the best color going into MH2, and then it left MH2 getting even stronger. Prismatic is too good? I think Prismatic is great for Modern. But everybody's got all these opinions. We're not talking about this stuff today. Give me like one break and just have fun playing some Magic. We've been ranting about... We're just ranting and complaining all week. Just give me one day to just enjoy the game. Guess we're playing threats here. How to rank the colors? I would put... I guess I'm just gonna give them Tower versus Rest. If I had to rank the colors of Modern, I would say red's number 1, blue's number 2, white's number 3, and then probably green is a little bit better than black. Maybe black's better than green. But those are the 2 worst. Reverend Papa John, thank you for tier 1. Good username. Alright, they took the tower. Do you think the new 4-mana exploit Counterspell? I don't think that... I doubt that card is going to see play in Modern, but I admit that it is cool. They reveal Sundering Titan, which they can't cast this turn. So, it's kind of fine. I didn't draw a land, which is less fine, I guess. So I suppose I'm just going to play Murktide with Counterspell up. All zombies are playable except for Fell Stinger. You don't like Fell Stinger? Stinger is so good. I really like the Fell Stinger. Have I seen the new Cleave Counterspell? Is that one real? I thought that one was fake. I was under the impression that one was fake. Wow, that just worked. We have Delirium again, too. Oh, that's the new Hellkite. I haven't seen the new Hellkite. Oh, that looks like someone's linked it here. Mana Form Hellkite. Okay, I gotta say, 10 out of 10 name. 4 mana, 4/4 flying dragon. Ever seen one of those before? Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, make an XX red dragon illusion spell, flying in haste, or X to cast a spell, Exile token, X in step. I mean, 4 mana 4/4 dragons that you have to like untap with historically are not very good. And I don't really foresee this one being all that different, to be honest. Like, you have to untap with it and then like have a bunch of non-creature spells. Just seems like a lot. Okay, hold on. I gotta text Esther or something. Okay, we can wait a turn, but to have Dovin's Veto up, I think it's just good to jam here. Defeated my nemesis Mono Blutron. Is there a sideboard guide for that deck? For this one? There's not. I'll probably put one up soon though. For On Channel Fireball. ChannelFireball.com. A place where magic happens. I'm not in charge of marketing. Probably rightfully so, huh? There's magic on the website. Alright, let's shuffle that away and then see what we draw on their draw step. If we draw a Counterspell, obviously we'll just hold that up, and if I don't, I'll scour immediately to try to find a bolt for the Hierarch. You like pizza or wings more? Dude, okay, this is not related. Oh, it's a little related. I went to my favorite pizza place yesterday for the first time in a while. It's like a local pizza shop, and they used to be so good. They used to be so good. They cook the ingredients underneath the cheese, and I would always get this pizza with like tomatoes and spinach and like onions. It's just, the cheese is just perfect. Like everything about it is just perfect. And I went there yesterday for the first time in a while, and it's just gone to shit. It's just gone to shit, and I ordered like the service has been bad there for a long time. But I've been like making do because I just love it there so much. The food has still been good, really good, but the service has been like you have to like wait an hour for your pizza and like you just can never find your server ever. They just make you wait a really long time, but it's worth it because the pizza is just so good. And I went there yesterday and I ordered my pizza, and then they said, "Oh, hey, we don't have any spinach. Do you want to we can put something else like an artichoke on there?" And I was thinking about it, and like, so that doesn't really sound very good. Just do the same pizza, just with no spinach. I was kind of disappointed. But then she brings out the pizza, and it's got she just put artichoke on it anyways. Just put artichoke on it anyways, and it was like also undercooked, and the ingredients weren't like the same. And just everything was different, and I was really, really disappointed. Sounds like Mellow Mushroom. No, it's not a chain or anything. It's just like a local place. Yeah, I was really, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like a different cook or different management, but also like every time I've been, like I used to go there like at least once a week, usually like 3 times a week, because it was like right like when I got off work, it was just a walk away. This was before I had Athena. I could just go walk, get a great pizza after work, and then go home and get a beer too. And like I got really friendly with like the wait staff and everybody there for like a 2-year period. And then after those 2 years, like I would never it was just a new server like every like month. Like people did not stay there for a long time. So I don't know what was going on, but that was like a huge red flag. So like the servers just kept changing after like being there for so long. I think I'm gonna Prismatic Ending the Hierarch and then play a 5/5 Murktide. You gotta go to Little Caesars, bro. Dude, Little Caesars is pretty good value for $5, but I don't know. I'm not a huge pizza guy. Pizza's good, but it's not like my favorite thing. But this was my favorite place to go. They also had like sandwiches. Just everything they had was so cheesy. They had like Philly cheesesteak sandwiches that I just loved. Oh no, sorry, I messed up on my Delph. Now we have a 4/4 Murktide. If I had New York or Chicago pizza, yeah, of course. I've left my room occasionally. Laborers are in demand and don't have to stay. Yeah, I know that that's the case right now, but it's also at least in this specific place. That had been happening before, like this like big shift in labor culture. Okay, I'm going to attack Grist with Murktide Regent to make them chump block with a bird this turn, and then I'm going to Prismatic Ending the Grist. I don't think I've ever had Detroit-style pizza. Is that like they serve you a frozen pizza that hasn't been thawed yet? Is that a Chicago-style pizza? Just like a frozen pizza that's been left out in the cold Detroit winter? At the first go, we 4-1. It was really fun too. We played against Scred Red in the finals. They exile my ending and then they grow my Murktide. Thanks, opponent. They undid my mistake when I was delving. What a weird day, huh? This ooze is gigantic though. They have a lot of creatures in their graveyard. And I've got one in mine. They have 3, 4. Yeah, this ooze is going to be a big problem. Do they think SCG Con will have a lot of burn? I have no idea. They also... Okay, they just didn't activate ooze. Everybody be cool. They had 2 ooze activations that they just did not use there. I do need to draw another... I only have 1 more ending left in the deck, though. I do have 1 Teferi, I guess. It's a good top deck, of course. They're also just not... They're not attacking with their insects, either. Could be a chord. Could be. Zoo, 6 months. Thank you so much. They were playing him on bolts. Not super well. Oh yeah, or yeah, when they didn't double activate. Yeah, you're right. That turn was a turn to play around bolts. Sack the peatland. Young Wolf, the natural predator of Ragavan. Let's take this hit. See if they activate. Still no activating. We'd probably be dead by now if they had been activating more aggressively, but yeah, you're right, they were playing around the bolt. No, this is the second league. We 4-1 the first one, now we're 1-0. We did... Yawgmoth was our 1 loss last round, by the way. Okay, so Heat actually answers the ooze here, because I have 5 card types. And then if they exile the Channeler, I still have 4 card types. Oh wait, they have 2 mana. No, they have 2 mana up with the Wall of Roots. I never think about Wall of Roots. Yeah, no, this was a huge punt. Damn it, this is a huge punt. Oh my gosh! This is so embarrassing. It's like, I feel, it even feels worse that they messed up. I don't know, maybe other people are capable of never thinking about Wall of Roots, huh? Alright, Ragavan is not getting better than this. Yeah, the ooze came down, it grew my Murktide. It grew my Murktide, and then it didn't do anything else when it was just like so unbeatable. Did they have Chipotle where I live? Yeah, I actually had it this week. It's okay. It's fine. The portion sizes are honestly like I feel a little big. I always feel kind of like I feel like full when I still have like this much burrito left usually. So, and then like leftover Chipotle is garbage. So it's either like I just stuff my face or leftover burrito bowls are bad. Yeah, I just prefer the burritos to the bowls. I don't know. The burrito, like I just in general prefer burritos to the bowl. But you're right, the leftover bowls are not that bad. I think this was my sideboard plan. Yeah, I agree that Freebirds is better than Chipotle. There's just not one super close to me. Yeah, I agree that they seem a little inexperienced. Taco Bell better than Chipotle. I would love to have a Baja Blast, like, fountain right next to the stream. But I like to eat kale and carrots, broccoli, and surely there's other healthy food, right? I like to eat smoothies. Yeah, Doritos and Mountain Dew. I am trying to eat healthier. I, like many people over the course of the pandemic, put on a few pounds, so I've been trying to eat a little bit healthier. It's both the hierarch. Where I get my smoothies from? I don't actually like smoothies. I don't know. Esther's been. I've been eating like a lot of grilled chicken and a lot of grilled chicken. I think I'm gonna go Channeler ending here. Should drink your breast? Yeah, mostly. Just kind of like whatever Esther has been buying. I think I'm supposed to keep the path. Yesterday, so I know I said I went to my like favorite pizza place yesterday, but we were supposed to go to this ramen place that I really like too. Then it would be a little bit healthier than pizza, but they were closed yesterday, which is sad. But they're really good. Like I'm not usually like the biggest ramen fan, but I like at this place I drink the broth, like the whole thing every single time. It's just so good. Yeah, eat your Raku ramen, yeah. I've seen Canister more in Song of Creation. I haven't. People have been saying today that it's been good. Kind of curious about it. I haven't, but nobody's posted a link for me to look at. What state am I in? Denial. I only have photo list. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, graveyard that. Get our Delirium back. You're in Egypt? Mm-hmm. It's a bit awkward because if the Young Wolf dies, they do get it back, but it's probably fine to play. Okay, so... Oh. Okay, don't want to concede. Oh, I love Bergie. What is this card? What is it? What is this card hanging out over here? CO, and I see a cape, and it's a sorcery. Conflagrate. Okay. Looks pretty cool. Hard to evaluate a deck like that, though, I think. They have another ooze? It's pretty good. Yeah, Solitude Fury? Oh, that deck looks pretty good. Wow. 11 and 1, 14 and 1 so far. That's pretty good. Yeah. Got a dope idea. I got an idea for a dope meme deck. Need you to add the jank option back. Ooh. The problem was we were getting too many jank requests. Yeah. It's just elementals like with, you know, a combo finish. Urkin, 3 months. Is it time for Frog Tribunal? Bippity boppity, give me the hoppity. Hopefully it is. He passed the controller to Big Brother. That's a good comment. That's a good comment. All right, that's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. Shout out to Prismatic Ending for carrying the category today. How much for you to play Is It Lutri? Not. We're fresh out of stock of the option to play Is It Lutri. But if we ever get restocked, I'll let you know. Okay, so I need to find a artifact or sorcery. Ding, 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 ding. I've played Is It Lutri on stream before. I might have deleted the deck. I'll take a look. Hey, I don't think for the 15 months. But I was just kind of obsessed with, like, this was before the companion nerf, but I was obsessed with Lutri copying Temporal Mastery off the Miracle trigger. I was pretty obsessed with it, so I tried to build Lutri taking turns, and it was fun, fun day. Surely I've deleted it. Surely that one got cleaned up. It's probably still in the Stream Decker if you really dig deep, but it was horrible, but it was so fun. Galvanic Iteration? Yeah, I like Galvanic Iteration. It's a cool card. Boneless wings or bone-in wings? I mean, bone-in, for sure. Which is the worst companion? Lyris. Lyris is the worst one. But not in, like, the way you mean. Little bit of a risky biscuity hand, huh? I'm gonna keep on in the blind on the play. Oh, I filled up my water bottle this morning, but I didn't bring it in here. I need to go grab it. You will live, Ragavan, the nimble pilferer. You're going to live. It's too soon to say goodbye. Yes, aspiring spike, forbid me now to die. I'll obey. I will reveal Ren and 6 to my trigger. Never lucky. Deluge is an interesting one to see with the Windswept Teeth. Yeah, Murray is probably the worst one. My cat was horrified by that. Oh, your cat has a terrible taste. Sorry to say. Might be time to exchange it. You will reveal Renin 6 to the trigger. How's Athena doing? She's still a dog, you know what I mean? She's doing alright. Okay, I'm gonna think heat on my upkeep. I'm gonna keep this for burn. Can I please find a land? Let's go, okay. Maybe I should have actually played a Murktide there. They're playing Verdict though. I could have also just main phase bolted. I bolt here. I think I'm supposed to graveyard that. I want to find a land, maybe. Just hold up the charm. Alright, I'm going to play the iteration here. I don't think their deck's super counterspell heavy. I could be wrong, but like I feel like if they're playing Renin 6, Prismatic Ending, maybe they're not. Why shock there to bluff counter? So I can use the bolt, right? I want to say I want to spend the treasure or save the treasure as long as I possibly can in that spot. Oh, they do have counterspell. Why didn't they counter the ending? It's a bit weird, right? What spores have we talked about today? We talked a little bit, like, the cards I like for Modern so far are the new 3-mana Chandra, and I like, I guess I'm going to try to go Ending into Dash Ragavan. Yeah, I like the new 3-mana Chandra, and I like the Scorpion. Oh, they have another Counterspell? How are they playing Counterspell this deck? I guess it's not that bad. Where can you see the stats of the Chandra? Mythic Spoiler is usually where we went. Guess I lose. The 3-mana Chandra, which shows my thinking for it. I like it in like the mono red Obosh deck. I think you probably have to be a mono red deck to like actually use the card advantage from the +1. But I think the card's very strong, very strong. Like yeah, like a mono red mid range deck. Yeah, I like the Scorpion a lot too. Yeah, those are like really the two cards I'm thinking of. There's like a couple other cards that like the Vampire Land. If somehow we have like 3 good modern vampires in the set, then like maybe I could see the Vampire Land getting there, right? Because that card is fine. Right, well, I do need to find, like, Murktide. I didn't find another white source. They have Ren on top. Should play it out, I think. Okay, so I can go Murktide with Charm up next turn. Yeah, the Scorpion. The Scorpion it's a 3-mana 3/2 flash with Exploit. So Exploit gets, like, any creature, including itself, and if you do exploit a creature, target player loses 2 life and draws 2 cards. And so you also... it's also a zombie too, which is relevant. Okay, I'm gonna use. I can get some water real quick. And so that and the new Chandra are the cards that seem modern playable so far. Chalice on 2. Okay. Might get there. Copium. Oh yeah, it also has Flash, yeah. Forgot about that. Be a lot worse without the Flash. Yeah, but you could like flash it in, sack a creature that's being targeted by a removal spell. It's pretty good. Wait, it doesn't have Flash? Are you sure? So I am very much under the impression that it's good because it does. Oh, okay, it's just done on the card. All right, this card is a lot worse. This card is a lot worse. That card is a lot worse. It's a bit of a bummer. A bit of a bummer, isn't it? Yeah, the blue one has flash. All right, we need to draw another Murktide Regent. Or like White Source Ending. Teferi also could maybe get the job done a little bit. So if I hit a land off the iteration, I get to make a 5/5 Murktide. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Alright, whatever. I think I attack them, right? They have a fetch land in their hand. Yeah, the tactical counter there. Yeah, sorry I went and got water. Forgot about the chalice. It's fine, it's fine. They can gain 7 up to 16, but we have 14. I guess that's not enough. Am I ever gonna play the Boros brought back deck you wrote about? If I have any new ideas for it, I don't think the deck's particularly good at the moment though. With like it's just not. I don't think it outgrinds a lot of the like 4-color piles that are popular, and then it doesn't have great interaction against a lot of like the more combo style decks. It's not terrible, but. That deck is really good against specifically creature strategies. Why did they exile that one? So they can attack for 4, but I gained the 4 back. It's a bit weird. Alright, let's draw 2. So now I can Teferi. I go down to 2 life to Teferi though. So I guess my play is I should bauble myself first, right? Yeah, bauble myself. See if I see Bolt. Prismatic Ending, okay. Then go Teferi, bounce Chalice on 1. Play Ragavan, pass back. And then we're like really dead, but just not quite dead on board. But they've got the deluge, they've got the mana to flash it back. Just dead to anything. Alright, they just pinged the Ragavan, okay. Then I don't know that we had a different plan there. Yeah, I don't think we had a different plan. Okay, these matchups are not great, but they're definitely winnable. We are currently 1-0 against like these 4-color piles today. Definitely could have played that game better too. Made the fatal mistake of getting up mid-match. Their deck seems to be a bit heavier, a bit more controlling too than the more stock versions. So I think I would definitely want both vetoes. And on the draw, I mean they're also playing Chalice, so I guess I actually need probably the full 4 Prismatic Endings, and then I can go -1 Scour, -1 Bauble. Maybe I should cut a Murktide Regent. Because they're playing Solitude. Yeah, kind of down to trim 1. DRC and some Monke. I didn't have Delirium. I could have tried to get Delirium. I don't know. No, we only had 3 types in the yard, but I could have played the Bauble after the Channeler. But the thing is, if we saw that we were drawing Bolt off the Teferi, then we can go bounce Chalice on 1, bolt them off the Bauble draw, and that like actually, I think that's the highest chance we have to win the game. Working exports, imports, the carriers of Seattle to Panama requested name and order. I told them aspiring spike because I could. It's funny. It's going pretty well so far today, JK. We're 6-1. 6-1, but we are down a game. Fighting till an exporter drugs to Panama with my name on it? Well, my name isn't Aspiring Spike, for what it's worth. I think I'll be okay. Do we have any smugglers in the chat? It's okay, this is a safe space. Alright, deck tech for Darth. 4 color control. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Snapcaster with that, like this really low density of 1-mana spells. That's kind of the problem with Snapcaster is these decks just don't play very many 1-drops. And like Snapcaster really does require like a pretty good density of 1-mana spells to be effective. So and you're asking about Spreading Seas. I do think Spreading Seas would probably be a card I'd recommend. So I feel like cutting the Snapcasters for the Seas feels pretty good. I'd also play the 3rd Omnath over the 1st Jace pretty easily. I've always really disliked Field of Ruin in these decks. I've always like really had a strong dislike for Field of Ruin in these 4-color decks with Red and 6 and Counterspell and Omnath. Like, just like you can't. I know that they make a color for you, but in my opinion, it's really hard to justify. It's really hard to justify any lands that don't tap for a color in these decks. So I would definitely not play those. You could also cut the Force of Negations for Spreading Seas if you're looking for something else. They're definitely not like mandatory cards, but they are like fine. I'm also not a huge fan of Veil of Summer in the sideboard of these decks because like you're already like really grindy. I feel like you don't need to like just like necessarily try to super overpower the fair matchups unless that's your local metagame. Then go for it. You need to have, I think, Wear Tear in your sideboard too. Wear Tear is one of the best sideboard cards that you can have in these kind of decks. Yeah, I'd really like to see some Wear Tears, I think. Probably at least over the Explosives, maybe over the Alpine Moon. Maybe over the Wildfires. Especially if you're main decking the Spreading Seas, you don't need like the Wildfires or the Moons nearly as much. Steal the E? Yeah, I'm not that worried about it. Maybe I shouldn't have played the second Channeler into the E though. But I think I kind of like bouncing the Rest in Peace. My plan here is to bounce the Rest in Peace, tax their mana a bit. Just gonna make them pop the E. Do you like Subtlety in this Temple deck? Nope. Nope. Probably would play the 4th Solitude over the 2nd Helix too, if you have access to that. Just like a lot of loose thoughts here. These 4-color decks are like so hard to build. It feels like they're just never done being built. And if that's like your kind of thing, then it's really good. Yeah, I would play the 4th Solitude. Okay. Right on time, Ragavan. Just pass with Charm up. Yeah, I know we can steal the E now, but I like these channelers are not that good with the Rest in Peace in play. Not that worried about it. I might bring in Wear Tear for game 3. Wear Tear might be better than Prismatic Ending. Steel Chalice. Whoop. I almost forgot about the Chalice again. Caught myself. Yeah, I haven't cast too many instant speed iterations. I'm gonna cast one here to get my surveils. Ergonomic, thank you for the 11 months. I do really want a counterspell, so I'll go ahead and keep that on top and put that in my hand. I guess charm is better. So hand bottom, exile. Blue white plays with Hall and Colonnade. What would I place the Colonnade with? A Hall. Or another Hall. I would play like 2 Halls. No Colonnades. Hall, like specifically like the turns where you want to go Prismatic Ending into Spreading Seas or Chalice, Hall is just so much better than Colonnade. And like the double, like tapping for white is like not that relevant when it doesn't cast Ending on turn 1, in my opinion. And I mean when it doesn't cast Ending on turn 1, it's it's like not, you know, not as relevant. And like double white on turn 4 for Verdict or turn 5 for Solitude is pretty easy to get. So that's why I usually I'm not that big a fan. Is there room for Hall and Temur Rec? Castle Vantress is a better blue utility land than Hall and Temur Rec. You're very limited to the number of blue utility lands you can play because you're a Wrenn and 6 deck, and you would rather play Castle Vantress because it's a lot better with Wilderness Reclamation. Lots of new cards so far. I like the new Chandra. I thought I liked the Scorpion, but I don't know. I thought it had Flash. I thought it was really good because it had Flash, but it only has Death Touch. So I need to reevaluate that card. It's probably still like somewhat playable. But those are the 2 standout cards. Like the Vampire Land is kind of interesting, but probably doesn't have the support in Modern. The 2-mana 2/1 flying Vampire could be somewhat good, but probably not. Guess that's mostly it. Ooh. Is that the 3rd or 4th? It's the 3rd. How about the Cleave counterspell that resembles Charm? That card is. I am under the impression that card is fake. People have been telling me that card's fake, and I'm continuing to operate. I guess I'm just let this resolve. I'm gonna continue to operate under that assumption. Okay, I guess I have another Ragavan, so I don't need to counter that either. Which card is fake? The counterspell with Cleave that's like way better than Cryptic Command, or not way better than Cryptic Command, but like vaguely resembles Cryptic Command. It was like 2 mana to counter a creature spell unless they pay 4, and then 3 mana to counter target spell, draw a card, triple blue. I'm pretty sure that card's fake. I think it would be a little too good if it wasn't. Yeah, Essence Leak. Yeah, because Essence Leak is already a card. Yeah. But then I don't know if I haven't seen. Some people have been saying it's actually called Essence Exposure, which sounds fake to me. New commander for Kraken EDH. Then I'd have to splash black. That'd be way over budget probably. But maybe. Pretty good one. Yeah, I think that Prismatic Ending also deals with Wrenn and 6 on the draw. So like I think Prismatic Ending is a bit better on the draw than Wear Tear. Maybe we'll do like a 3-1 split and then also just play 1 Wear Tear over like Heat number 3. 3-2 split. Let me use the restroom real quick. Be right back. I feel like 4th Ending is better than 2nd Wear Tear. Maybe. It's all like pretty difficult to know for sure, to be honest. This hand is so weak. I don't know. It obviously has the potential to get there, but it's really bad against lock pieces. If I don't draw a white source, I'm pretty likely to draw one. I should probably keep. Is there any substitute for Ren and Temur Rec? If you're not playing Ren and Temur Rec, you can play a different color combination. Okay, I'll keep that. Like Sultai Rec might be better than Temur if you're if you don't have the Rens. Or Bant. But Ren and 6 is the main reason to be red. Like Ancient Grudge is like a good card too, but for sure. But like the removal spells in the red are not like really why you're playing it. They're serviceable. They're totally fine, but they're not like the reason to play the color combo. I think I'm just casting this. I really don't like dashing the Ragavan against the Chalice decks. And if they want to ending this, then maybe we can resolve Teferi. Just ending hitting Ren and 6 Teferi too. Yeah, but like the fuse ability is pretty real. The instant speed is also really relevant. It's tough, right? Yeah, opponent's playing 4-color control, Fran. How do you deal with memory leak that causes MTGO to lag? I've got a pretty good PC, so it's a little less pronounced on my end than it would be for most decks. That's, I guess, just really the main thing. Kind of just want to resolve Teferi here. I can also go dash Ragavan, kill Teferi, play Channeler. It's probably pretty good too. Awesome, Waz. Yeah, I've been meaning to play some Jeskai Phoenix again. I like the deck a lot. Yeah, I think the fake fleet counterspell would be too good as well. There's no card that there's no 3-mana counter target spell draw a card. That doesn't exist, and for like them to print like a better version, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like I don't think that they would do that. Okay, so it seems like they have a counterspell here. Which isn't great for me, but I guess I'm supposed to just be mana efficient and play the Teferi here. Keep that on top. Cycling Complicate is 3 mana counter draw. I mean, if they don't have a mana to pay, like unconditional 3 mana counter draw does not exist in Magic. So they shuffle my iteration, and I don't have a white source for my ending yet, but any fetch land is a white source. Yeah, there's no 3-mana counter target spell draw a card unconditional, and for them to print one that also has that you can also be cast at 2 mana to just like give that kind of effect, even an upside, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Do you feel like Prismatic Ending is too much of an efficient removal modern? No, I think Prismatic Ending is a super good design. It is just like the most fair removal spell ever. You spend as much mana as they spend at sorcery speed to answer their threat. It just is like very fine, I feel. All right, white source, please. Stupid Field of Ruin. Of course I lose to Field of Ruin after like complaining against my opponents like about Field of Ruin in the 4-color deck and the deck tech. Dash does not beat Chalice. Guess we lose. Yeah, it's like Prismatic Ending is like very good against some decks, but this card is just super fair. This card is so fair. It just like I think it's a very good card to exist. It is like the most fair 1-for-1 ever. You know what I mean? And like a lot of times, like your opponent, the things that its answers like draw a card when they come down, and it's card disadvantage and sorcery speed. It like doesn't answer Murktide Regent. It doesn't answer 4-mana permanents very well. It doesn't answer everything, but it's like a very good early game answer. And it's like, it's very easy. I think like players who like talk about Prismatic Ending being too good, it really feels like Prismatic Ending is good. They're splitting their snow-covered basics on islands. It feels like Prismatic Ending is good against the decks that they like to play, and they like are, you know, can be a little biased when evaluating, right? Because it's really easy for like you to play Aether Vial decks and be like, oh, Prismatic Ending is way too good. I used to just be able to play Aether Vial and it could never die. But now like they can have an answer to my Aether Vial. Dead. Yeah, I think Prismatic Ending is a healthy card to have in the format. Card to play X white mana, that would be interesting. Okay, game 1, double Leyline of Sanctity. I guess we're playing against Enchantress. Haven't played against Enchantress in a while. Could be Adnaz too. What about New Chandra? Chance to play Modern. I'm gonna try. I think it's good. I think it has the potential to be good. Yeah, it is Ad Nauseam, I think, but they're also playing Mistveil Plains. Oh no, this is no, this is Enchantress, Enduring Ideal, which is a deck. Technically. I think I'll hold the iteration for a turn, actually. Which is a deck. Thank you, Faded 3 months. Appreciate you. What counter removal do I think is too strong? At the moment, I don't think that there is any counter or removal spell that's too strong. In fact, I think it's very difficult for answers to, like... Obviously, like, sometimes they end up being a little too efficient, but... you shouldn't make the case that there's no such thing as a counterspell that's too strong. But for the most part, it's, like, very rare, I feel like, for a counter or removal spell to end up being too efficient for Modern, because like they're usually like they're almost exclusively narrow in what they answer. You know what I mean? Like every single answer in the format, there's not a single answer in the format that is good against every deck, besides maybe Counterspell. But I guess Counterspell is actually inefficient against like Hammer Time and decks like that. Yeah, it's like Prismatic Ending doesn't beat Murktide. It's not good against 4-mana spells. It's not good against Reanimator. It's like terrible against Esper Ephemerate Reanimator right now. I just feel like for the most part, answers tend to be relatively balanced in the format because they just like line up well against some subsets of the cards and not everything. And while when you compare that to proactive threats, threats tend to be more dangerous because like they could just be good against everything. Yeah. Force of Will is probably an example of a card that's too pushed. Like it would be too good for Modern, I think, but you know, in a lot of ways, keeps Legacy in check. Okay, don't care about that. I think I want to steal the Lotus Bloom. And they'll just sack it probably, but. Let's go! Alright, that feels good. Alright, well. Alright, I'll just sack it for no value. They said, rest in peace, auto yield. I'll have mercy on them. We're playing against Enduring Ideal, which is like my least favorite deck in Magic, to be honest. It's so fun though. I'm sure it is. I will say I think I've done it as a Dono deck and I didn't have a lot of fun. How important is Monke to the deck? I'd say pretty important, but you can definitely build a functional version without it. Yeah, but you know, fun is very subjective. We can cast it. We can cast it. Okay, Nykthos is pretty strong. The deck is just not super good against counterspells. They're also dead to Prismatic Ending. Alright, they just conceded. I was gonna bolt myself to Surveil too. Okay, then we would have found a counterspell. Okay, so we get to bring in Wear Tears and Prismatic Endings and Fairies and Dovin's Vetoes. Yeah, but Seiju could do something, I guess. Alpine Moon for Misfell Plains. To beat the enchantments, I had to play the enchantments. What should I use in place of Monke? So there's a few different options. You can just build this deck with just Channeler and Murktide Regent, and that's like enough to win games. But I would probably recommend playing some other threat. That can be Delver of Secrets. It can be Sprite Dragon. You can play like 2 copies of Snapcaster, like max 2. You can't really play too many more than that. You can play Sprite Dragon, Delver, Snapcaster. You can also play like the 4th Archmage's Charm. You can play like Fire Ice. You know, just play more interactive spells. Be more of a control deck. Yeah, I would say Sprite Dragon's better than Delver of Secrets. But you also don't necessarily... Like, Murktide is such a resilient threat that you don't definitely need to have the extra threat, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to... The Ragavans are definitely very strong. They're really important, but... it's not like you can actually play... It's not like you just have a non-functional deck without them. In fact, I built a very budget version of Blue-Red Tempo and put it on Channel Fireball this week. It's like $180. Very much a budget deck, but like... What's nice about this archetype is you still have access to a lot of like the really powerful spells on a budget. Like you have access to Counterspell, Lightning Bolt, Expressive Iteration, and then Dragon Rage's Channeler, and you still get to play like a moderately playable tempo deck on a budget, and then eventually work your way to a more stock version of the deck over time. And I think it's really important for these budget decks that I'm working on. Like my main goal is to have them have your money be well spent towards the archetype that you're interested in, rather than just like making you play a burn or prowess, which is like what a lot of players say. Oh, you want to play modern on a budget? Just play burn or prowess. Those are modern's budget decks. But I think it's important for people to be able to play the archetypes that they like. So I've written like 5 or 6 budget decks now for Channel Fireball. I've written mono black mid-range with Luris, Wilderness Reclamation, blue black control with Thing in the Eye Stress Down, budget Eldrazi. This now is it tempo deck. That might be it. I might be forgetting one. But again, I think it's important that, you know, Magic is a really fun game, and you know you don't have all the time in the world to play it. So I really like people to be able to play the decks they like to play. Zombardment's like surprisingly expensive. Like the zombies are really expensive. Zombardment's like maybe the worst budget deck. Like Gravecrawler and Messenger are like really expensive. Okay. Instant speed iteration here. I guess maybe I should have exiled the Wear Tear, but I kind of just want to take a draw step before I bounce anything or kill anything. Is budget dredge possible? Maybe. I'll take a look at it maybe. Alright, I guess I'll kill the Sphere of Safety. What's the best sideboard card for Blue-Red Murktide Mirror? Well, in this deck, this deck is really good in the mirror because you have access to Teferi and Path to Exile. So, like, I think the best way to beat the mirror is to be the white version. As far as, like, you know, what you're actually asking, like, the regular stock list, I'm not sure. That was always like the puzzle. What's the best sideboard card for the mirror in this deck? And there really never was like any specific thing that was crazy good. Should have killed O-Ring first so Murktide could attack. Oh, we could have done that. But the Murktide only comes back as a 3/3. We also cannot lose this game. This game is... Oh, I should have killed the O-Ring there. Okay, that was a little bit of a... Killing O-Ring was lethal. But I don't know. We literally can't lose here. I'm just not like paying that much attention, to be honest. Brickmaster, thank you for the tier 1. Dispute is strong. I mean, the problem with Dispute is that the games go really late, usually, so Dispute does become a dead card, but dead top deck, which is a problem. It's not bad though. Play nodes to assert dominance. Silence into ideal 9 lives. Well, I don't think that even works. I have... Oh yeah, because 9 lives is hexproof. How is this against Affinity? Is it a hard matchup? I think it's probably fine. You've got Wear Tears in the sideboard, you have Alpine Moons, the Prismatic Endings are good. I also personally don't really think Affinity is that strong of a deck, I'll say. It's not terrible, but it's also like... I feel like even without sideboard cards, I beat it like most of the time. With most decks. Alright, we have a really good hand against Burn here. I think I'm just gonna cast Ragavan and play this tapped. Ragavan is so good against Burn. Like they like have to kill it. They have to kill it because Ragavan hitting them is so good with their low curve and they have helixes. And it's just 1 mana trade for a burn spell. Thank you, Goblin Guide. New Dam just dropped. Path of Peril. Destroy all creatures with mana value 2 or less. Cleave for 6. That's pretty good. And standard. Could also see play in modern. Don't hate it. Catching up on any anime this season? I've been rewatching Mob Psycho, or not Mob Psycho, Cowboy Bebop with Esther, and then yeah, after like Odd Taxi, I don't think that we've been really watching any anime though. I think I'm gonna fire off an iteration here. We're really ahead. They only have 3 cards in hand. Counterspell in hand. Bottom, Exile. Just play a 5/5 Merc. Yeah, Odd Taxi's been really good. I would recommend that show to anybody, even if you don't watch anime. Just good TV, just really well written. It's got a walrus in it. I think that's the main selling point, is that there's a walrus. There's also an alpaca. So I don't know if I should say anything else for spoilers. There's also a baboon. Okay, that's like a small spoiler. There's a baboon in the show too. And if that doesn't sell you on it, I don't think anything will. Game 1 is Jeskai weaker versus Burn, but game 2 through Jeskai is better with white sideboard. I would say that that's generally correct, yeah. Because usually blue-red doesn't play a sideboard card for Burn. Where do I watch anime? I mean, just wherever it is. I don't know. Like, people always, you know... I don't really, like, think of anime as its own thing. Like, the way I consume it, it's just TV to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really think of it as its own thing. Like, I'm not out here, like, going to watch anime. Like, if I have a friend recommend a series to me... If it happens to be an anime, it's just not its own thing in my mind. Like there's just like, you know, so many different ones. There's just so many different ones, and like it's just such a diverse medium. I just don't really get it, like being into like specifically anime. You know what I mean? What do you mean anime is not a thing? Like, I mean, I don't think of it as, oh, I'm gonna go watch an anime. I just think of it like, it's like, I don't even think of it being like a genre of TV, because they're just all so different. You know what I mean? They're just all so different. I don't think of it as being like its own genre. I don't think of it as it's being its like own subset of TV. It's just like any other TV show. You know what I mean? Clearly you see the commonality in animation style. I mean, I guess, but that's not why I watch it, I guess. I don't know. I feel like what I'm saying makes sense. We don't need to like argue and nitpick, right? Japanese culture export. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's just not a big deal. Who cares? It's like saying reality TV and game shows are the same because they're both live. I don't know, let's just move on. This is not a anime show or anime review Twitch channel. Do you think Blue White Sunblade is a strong deck right now? I've liked it like every time I've played it. I do think it's underplayed, yeah. I feel like the last like 3 or 4 times I played it on stream, I've been like 7-3, 8-2. The deck feels really fair and consistent. Oh, the White Bender deck went yesterday. I think we were 3-2, 0-2 drop, 4-1, 4-1. And then on Monday, we were 3-2, 5-0, 3-2. So a pretty good record. Pretty good record overall. Nothing too crazy, but the deck's been feeling really solid to me. Bringing Fiddlebender to my local Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. They bolted me instead of Ragavan. They have to have Steering Blaze. They are like 100% to have Blaze, right? Yeah, okay. If you had to summarize 4-color Brinkslight, what do I think? Oh, do I have to? I don't know, the deck's fine. Is how I summarize it. The deck's fine. Is Pod unbannable? Obviously, like me and Caleb streaming like 10 matches is too small a sample size to say for sure. But I went into the stream thinking that it would probably be a little too good, and I left the stream thinking that it would probably be fine to unban. I changed my mind over the course of the stream, so. And that's always like the goal of like the playtesting there, just like formulate an opinion, because, you know, Birthing Pod has been banned for 6.5 years. Just kind of hard to formulate your thoughts when the deck is that old. How about Cloud Post? I think that Cloud Post, like, I think you would play Cloud Post in E-Tron, or like it would be like it would turn Cloud. I think it would be. You would play it in a Tron deck. I think you would play both the Tron lands and Cloud Post, Glimmer Post, Vesuva, and like potentially you'd be green for scrying, potentially not. Potentially play Eldrazi Temple, potentially not. I think that would just be too good. I don't understand how Pod is Twin is Fin is not. Yeah, I mean, I went into like the testing having the opposite opinions. I thought the Twin would probably be fine and Pod wouldn't, but like after like actually playtesting, like I kind of it really seemed the opposite to me. I also went into it with like the opposite impressions. I don't know why people keep bringing up Dark Depths. Dark Depths is way too good in a non Wasteland format. I don't understand why people keep bringing up Dark Depths. Another Searing Blaze, brutal. think I just need to... I don't think the Charm is going to really do the job here. I'm trying to find Blossoming Calm, maybe. Okay, game 3 on the play. Luris Dark Depths, I don't know. Like, I remember we were talking about this during the Caleb stream, and someone's like, this is a Prismatic Ending Solitude format. Dark Depths is totally fine to unban. But it's like, Prismatic Ending isn't good against Dark Depths. They just make the token end of turn, and then they attack you for 20, and you're dead before you can ending. Like, Solitude is good against Dark Depths, but like, that's like the end of the list of cards that are good against Dark Depths, or almost the end of the list. And it just like, you just don't unban it. The card is, it's just like a not a healthy card to have in a metagame. It's just like, there's just no way. Yeah, Archmage's Charm is pretty good against it. Yeah, there are cards that are good against it, but like, it's just like, you have to have one of these cards or you're just dead. And like, it leads to really bad, uninteresting gameplay. You know what I mean? Really bad, uninteresting gameplay. Will Jitte be featured in the Unbanned series? I don't think so. I don't think that we're going to do another one, to be honest. I don't think that we're going to do another one. It's just like any other card on the ban list is either like Dark Depths, in my opinion, just like clearly too good. You're kind of like, it's just kind of silly to suggest it. Or something that's not that interesting to like stream a league of. Where like Jitte is probably fine to unban in theory, but all Jitte does is further push small creature decks out of the format. You know, it's just like, and there's already so much of that. There's already like Wrenn and 6, like Lava Dart, Prismatic Ending, Plague Engineer. There's already so many cards that like their effect on the metagame is like making small creatures worse, and that's also like all Jitte does. So I don't really understand. Or I'm not interested in unbanning Jitte and like having that effect further impact the format. And kind of the same thing for Punishing Fire too. Like sure these cards aren't broken, but I think they make gameplay worse. And so I'm not that interested in unbanning them. But I'm also not that interested in having this conversation again today. I know we've been talking about it, but we've been talking about it all week. I'm tired. I just want to have some fun. Yeah, just last comment. Green Sun Zenith is also, I think, way too strong in Titan. I know like you could maybe there could be a fun Green Sun Zenith deck in theory, but it's just way too strong in Titan. And I also hate the idea of I guess I go Heat, bottom, Exile, wait 1 turn on the Murktide. I really also dislike the idea of banning a card so that you can unban a card. I think that's not wise either. Yeah, let's move on. I just want to have some fun playing some Magic today. Been talking about this all week. I'm tired of it. We can talk about it again, you know, later. Only have 2 Teferi. Would I have a spot for similar effect? Is Void Mirror fine? I want to play Void Mirror. I would maybe play like the first Explosives or the third Dovin's Veto. Probably third Dovin's Veto. Is Runo going in Sea Monsters? The problem is my Sea Monsters deck is mono blue. So I would either have to make Runo the commander, and I'd have to like shell. That actually might work out because I've lost my copy of Slinvada. I have the rest of my EDH deck, but I don't know where my commander Slinvada is. So I could either buy a new copy or try to find it, or I could just like, or I could just move on. And you'll get a new card, new commander. Would I face a challenge with this deck? Yeah, I'm considering playing this deck in CFB Vegas, actually. All right, land is less than a good draw there, I suppose. But this Murktide is a very fast clock. Ricky, think it was 4 months. Have I watched Dune? I have seen Dune, yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I left the theater being like, a little disappointed because I didn't realize it was part one. I thought it was like the whole series or the whole like book one. But after like digesting it for a couple days, I've like come to like really, feel like I like that movie a lot. All right, so back-to-back 4/1s. I think I'm gonna play one more at least. I'm really enjoying this deck today. I'm having a good time. Ooh, opened a nice mountain too. Dude, where's my spice?